on one, growth and philosophy of distance education. So far, what we have done, so far we have covered the block one, basic issues of distance education. Then we have discussed about distance education. Actually, we have tried to understand the definitions of distance education, how the distance education terminologies were conceptualized, what were the basic nomenclature, different nomenclatures uh, used for the distance education. Then we also discussed about the various features of distance education, how distance education is different from face-to-face education. Then we also discussed about social credibility of distance education, how distance education ensures social credibility and it provides some sort of social justice. Then we also had discussed about uh, new learners, traditional learners, how the new learners have emerged, how there has been impact of globalization on teaching and learning practices, how new learners have emerged in the global environment. Then we discussed about philosophical foundations of distance education. We discussed about philosophy of Otto Peters. We discussed about philosophy of Charles Widemere. We discussed about philosophy of Michael Moore. We discussed about philosophy of John A. Death. We discussed about philosophy of David Seward, and so on and so forth. Then we also discussed about how the different philosophies are somehow interlinked, how some aspects of different kind of philosophies are common, what are the common things which different philosophers have come out, and what are the major points of differentiation between different philosophers of distance education. So far, we have been able to cover till the block two. Today, I shall be trying to cover the last unit of block two, that is emerging operational concerns. What are the various issues which distance education is facing right now across the globe, and especially in the developing countries or underdeveloped countries or third world countries. So I will start my presentation. Uh, just a minute. Okay. Are you people able to see my PPT?
Yes.
Okay. This topic is present in the block 2 and unit 4. I mean, unit 4 of block 2. This is the last unit of the block 2. So I will try to cover this topic in initial few minutes. Then we will go to the block number 3. So what are the issues which distance education is facing across the globe? As I said, across the developing countries and especially the third world countries. Okay. So I discussed about you with you all generations of distance education. I had informed in my previous classes that uh, uh, distance education generations have broadly been divided into 5 generations. So, and all generations, starting from correspondence education till the web-based learning and online learning, The distance education broadly can be divided into five generations. Uh, and in all the generations, we can see that the difference, what we can see in various generations, is the use of technology. Technology started coming up, and distance education started to adopting those technologies. So actually, generations of distance education is basically the nature of technology which have been integrated or used for teaching and learning purposes through distance mode. Like in correspondence mode of education, what was happening? Textbook kind of materials used to be provided to the learners through postal services. Then self-learning material came up in a printed form. Then there was use of media and technology like radio and television. Then satellite-based education came up. Then computer came up. Different kind of ICT devices came up. And now we are in the era of online and digital education or web-based teaching and learning. So we can see that there is has been a shift in distance education in various generations, and in among those generations we can find various kind of learners, as I broadly divided the traditional learners and new learners. So till 1980s, distance education actually struggled for the recognition, but after 1980s, distance education was recognized as a well designed system or mode of education which was accepted globally. Therefore, we can see that after 1980s, a lot of institutions have come up across the globe for distance education, teaching and learning. And people have started to realize that distance education is not inferior or something having lower grade than to face-to-face education. It is equally well designed, well structured system which can provide quality education, and especially to those who have no access to the face-to-face education. Further, the emergence of ICT has added innovation to distance education system. Different kind of tools and techniques are coming up and which are being integrated into distance education system and which creating greater interactivity. It is technology which helping in distance education for bringing in more and more interactivity and flexibility. So, in a nutshell, we can say that distance education institutions or open universities have actually drawn several benefits, plenty of benefits from the emerging technologies and ICT tools. And what has been result of that? We have been able to free the education, free the knowledge from a narrow geographical location to a wider population. So this has been contribution of technology in distance education, that we are making education system more democratic, and we can also say that technology has actually paved the way for the democratization of education. Now, through the use of technology, education is reaching to a massive population. In whatever area our learners may be located, education is reaching to them. through distance education and through use of technology. Okay. Now, situation is so that distance learner now can learn from any place at any time and in whatever way they choose. If they want to learn through digital print materials, yes, they can, yes, study. If they want to watch videos, yes, they can study. If they want to listen radio programs, yes, they can. If they want to watch the video at their home, yes, they can. If they want the want to watch the recorded video at their office, yes, they can. So technology has created plenty of opportunities for the learners, and this is the one of the backbone of distance education, that you can learn at any place as per your time and as per as per your style of learning. And most importantly, your learning is happening at affordable costs. You are not paying a huge sum of money to educate yourselves. At a very nominal costs, various distance education courses and programs are available to our learners. And learners are getting wider choices. A basket of courses are available, programs are available where learners can go and enroll. And what ICT is doing, ICT is also facilitating teachers. By using innovative tools and technologies, we teachers are designing and developing quality learning materials and delivering those learning materials at their place of posting or at their residence or whatever, and wherever they may be. So these have been some sort of advantages of ICT, especially in the context of distance education. But beside these advantages, there are other challenges also associated with the distance education and use of technology. What are those challenges? These are the some challenges which I have listed. Society, social environment, necessary knowledge and skills, funding, infrastructure. There are some society where use of technology is not so, I mean, prominent, not easily available. There are various kind of constraints. This is the first challenge. Necessary knowledge and skills. If you are using technology, obviously you need skills to operate or handle those technologies or those machines. So if you person do not having necessary knowledge and skills, then purpose of having interactive technology is gone. So there is a need that we should create a workforce which is competent to utilize their knowledge and skills for teaching in a distance mode. Then funding. Funding is another challenge which distance education is facing, especially in developing countries or underdeveloped countries. There are limited expenditure on education in comparison to the Western and European countries. So if you do not have fund, you do not have money to purchase or acquire the technology and provide them to your teachers and students, then obviously um, distance education will suffer. So funding is the another challenge. Then infrastructure. Infrastructure is also related to funding. If you do not have money, how you are going to create the infrastructure? How you are going to set the support services centers? How you are going to set up the study centers? How you are going to create or print the learning materials? How you are going to hire the, I mean, qualified teachers? If you do not have a studio, how you are going to record the videos, record the audios? And distance education system cannot run in a one or two rooms. To create a good distance education institution, you need a lot of infrastructure. Okay, so these are the few challenges. Now coming to the collaborative learning environment, what ICT has created, or what ICT has gave us an opportunity to practice and promote collaborative learning. Okay, and what is collaborative learning? Collaborative learning in distance education, we can say it is an arrangement where learners and teachers are linked with each other. Not only linked with each other, but they're also interacting and communicating through various kind of media and technologies. Okay, so through interaction, through our collaborative kind of strategies, we are enhancing each other knowledge. I am teaching to learners. I'm also getting feedback from the learners. You're also getting inputs from the learners on various topics. So the initiatives like personal contact program, counseling sessions, teleconferencing, interactive radio counselings, all these things are creating a collaborative learning environment. So we are collaborating, we are sitting together, we are linked with each other, and we are learning. So is the another aspect which ICT has created. Now, see, these are the interactive media platforms or tools which are available for collaborative learning. You can see telephone, mobile phone, audio conferencing, interactive radio counseling, video conferencing, teleconferencing, online video or web conferencing, email, discussion forum, blogs, wikis. All these tools are actually being used in distance education for the collaborative learning. And what are the advantages of collaborative learning? If we are going to know and want to know why we should go for the collaborative learning, what are the advantages? What are the benefits we will get when we are engaged in the collaborative learning? Actually, if you are engaged in collaborative learning, then we are getting a variety of sources to learn and enhance our understanding and knowledge. As I did in the previous classes, what we did, we choose a topic, we took a philosopher, and we made PPTs on a particular idea of that particular philosopher about distance education. Everyone came up, everyone presented, there was a question answer session. So various new topics and new areas came up. So that kind of collaborative interaction, actually what was the benefit? We got benefited from those interactions. So it was some sort of opportunity for all of us to get a variety of knowledge from the variety of sources. Then interaction, obviously, there was a great interaction between me and you people. Among yourselves, you have been discussing various topics. So this also provided you an opportunity to interact with your teacher and your peer group. And if there is a environment of collaborative learning, that also benefits institutions. What institutions do? They will pull up their intellectual resources, infrastructure, facilities, and those will be shared with the learners. So with less investment, you can reach to the maximum number of people. And the collaborative learning also promotes best practices. Suppose 10 persons presented their presentations in 10 different ways. Among those 10 presentations, there may be one best presentation. So what that best presentation will do, that will become a best practice. And those best practices can be shared with other target group. Now, there is another issues which are related to distance education. Number one is quality. If you are using ICT, is that going to hamper the quality? Some may agree or some may disagree. But one point is very common, that yes, we are interacting with using the technologies, but it cannot replace the face-to-face interaction. So if you want to have some sort of quality teaching and learning, you are also supposed to make some provision for human element, presence of some face-to-face kind of interaction and whatsoever. And there is another issue, which is it is a preset notion, some sort of preset notion, where people feel that distance education system is not having a quality at par with the face-to-face education. They say that distance education system is a second-rated system, which I do not agree. Distance education system has so flexibility and enormous features. If it is implemented and utilized as per the best practices, as per the philosophical foundations of distance education, this system is not lesser than any kind of conventional mode of education. Okay. Now, let us discuss some other points which is related to quality assurance. What are the steps which may be taken for the improvement of quality? Yes, I am saying that the distance education system is the best system. But yes, I also agree. Yes, there are certain areas where improvement is required. And by improvement in those areas, we can assure the quality. For example, there is a need for improving the curriculum design and course development. If you are developing a distance education course or program, you have to be we have to be competent in understanding how a curriculum should be for an open and distance learning system. Because a curriculum which are taught in conventional mode of education or face-to-face education is not necessarily that will fit to the distance education system. Because in distance education system, you have to you have to adopt strategies which are in favor of your learners. Because distance education system is a learner-centered education system. So our curriculum design and course development should be as per the requirements of our learners. Then delivery mechanism. If is already, then you cannot offer your courses or program in a tandem. You have to have a strong and a broad or fast delivery mechanism. If I am developing a good program, excellent program, if our delivery strategy or delivery, mechanism is not up to the mark, then what is the use of developing a good curriculum? So, besides developing a good curriculum and good quality course materials, it is also essential that we should also work upon the creating a delivery mechanism which is very much effective or extensively effective. Now, support services. This point I have also highlighted in the previous sessions, that support services is backbone of distance education system. If you do not have good support services, your system will not work. Because in distance education, there is a very, limited interaction between teacher and learner. And queries of learners are enormous. They have plenty of problems. And to address those problems, what we need? We need a strong learner support system. And through strong learner support system, what you can do, you can provide a satisfactory, balanced student support services. If the queries or issues of learners are addressed through support services on a time bound manner, their queries are addressed timely, of course, that will motivate the learners and they will get maximum benefit from the distance education system. Okay. Then next point is learning resources besides the course materials. Whatever course materials you are providing, that is good, that is fine. But besides course material, you should also provide learning resources which are related to your course. Suppose my course materials may be enough for a group of learners, but there may be many other learners who might have some prior knowledge. Their level of understanding may be a bit higher. They might be a very good motivated learner. So they may be expecting that, yes, learning materials are good, I have gone through. They also may be interested in getting some additional knowledge on a particular subject, or on a particular topic. So, besides course material, we should also provide them other learning resources. It will also ensure quality assurance in distance education. Then comes the continuous monitoring of what? Monitoring of distance education, delivery of the program, of a system or institution, or most importantly, monitoring of your students. Are they getting learning materials on time? Are the learning materials as per their expectations? Is the level of learning materials is according to the level of the learners, or it has some lower quality or upper quality, whatsoever. So, continuous monitoring of learners and their learning processes is another mantra for the quality assurance in distance education. Next point is evaluation. By assigning an activity and not following it up will not work. It is not much productive. So whatever activities you give to your learners, whatever learning materials you provide them to learn, their learning has to be evaluated. So if you want to maintain quality of your courses or program in distance education, you are also supposed to ensure that you are conducting or your institution is conducting assessment and evaluation practices at regular intervals. In some institutions, evaluation is done at the end of the year. In some institution, in mid of the year. Some having formative and summative evaluation, both the aspects. Some is going just for the summative evaluation. So any kind of evaluation what you may have as per your institutional policy, but point is that evaluation should be done at regular intervals so that we are able to provide them feedback, we are able to declare the results, and as per the results and whatever feedback we give them through formative assessment, the learners are able to enhance their understanding on a particular subject or in a particular discipline. Okay, now when we talk about quality issues, Sir John Daniel says that there are four basic ingredients of distance education. What are the four basic ingredients of distance education? Number one, he says that high quality multimedia learning materials. This is the number one ingredients, basic ingredients of distance education. A system must have these ingredients to maintain its quality and proving its worth. High quality multimedia learning materials. This is the first. Number two, dedicated academic support. You cannot leave the learners by just providing them the multimedia learning materials, but you are also supposed to provide them academic support as and when they require. So that can be done through a dedicated teacher, through dedicated academic counselors, through a dedicated institutions. Number third, logistics. I have discussed about infrastructure. So logistics is equally important for maintaining the quality, and then a strong research base. The fourth point what he is highlighting is a strong research base. If you are doing research, you will come out with certain gaps, shortcomings, and you shall suggest how those gaps and shortcomings can be addressed. So these are the four components proposed by John Daniel as a basic ingredients of distance education. And who will create the quality learning materials? A person who are professionally competent who are actual practitioners of distance education. So they know what are the basic actual requirements of distance learners. So by keeping those things in mind, he will develop or come out with learning materials which will have high quality. Dedicated support services can be provided through counseling services, tutoring, assignment marking, and final evaluation. And similarly, when we talk about logistics, infrastructure, then it is our duty as a distance teacher to provide the learners the learning materials at time, on time. If assignments have come to for the evaluation, it is our duty to evaluate them and provide the feedback to learners, and also provide the information, required information of learners on time. And similarly, if you are engaged in serious research, what will be benefit? That will give inputs to our policymakers, administrators. What are the things which are working and what are the gaps which needs to be addressed. So if you do or follow these four parameters or basic ingredients of distance education as proposed by John Daniel, then there is no doubt that we shall be able to create a quality distance education system. And last point of that unit is research and staff development. Research I have already discussed. Staff development, distance education or distance education practitioners, which have to look for the emerging and crucial areas for training of the teachers, which are teaching in a distance education environment. And in distance education system, staff development becomes more important because you can see in either University of Nigeria Open University or IGNU, and in some other open university, maximum of teachers which have joined this university are from the conventional mode of education or face-to-face education. The teaching learning methods and environment is different in a conventional mode of education and in open distance learning institution. So whosoever teachers are coming from the face-to-face education, they need training to understand distance education and how teaching and learning can be done through distance mode. And moreover, emergence of new technologies, changing pattern of teaching learning process, and changing functions, responsibilities of teachers. So in this environment, the staff development of distance education teachers become more and more important. So these were the few major points which is part of the unit number 4 of block 2, which is related to emerging operational concerns in distance education. Now I invite your observation or anything, any point which you would like to me to address or you people would like to come up, please. After that, I will move to the another topic. Wilson Shaba.
Yes, sir. I think I've also observed is in terms of access through internet. One thing that I've observed is the internet is so expensive in most of developing countries, and this poses a challenge in order for students to access the learning materials, even the counseling sessions. I'm giving example of Malawi, like 1 GB of internet bundle. It costs about $1.5. which is expensive. And even though most students might be willing to undergo through the online or distance education, but looking at how they are supposed to access those materials and sessions, and then the money that they are supposed to spend buying bundle or accessing internet is so exorbitant that they can't. So I think one major thing is also the access to internet that I observed. Thank you. I think you have muted yourself, sir. We can't hear you.
Yeah. Thank you, Wilson. See, Wilson was talking about Malawi. There you can see what he was saying. 1 GB cost $1.5. How costly is that? It is very
It is
costly.
too,
If
it is
we
too
compare
costly.
what we are paying in India, that is very, high. So similar cases may be in some other countries as well. So that is the point what I was trying to convey is that yes, ICT has played its role in making teaching and learning more interactive and more collaborative. But there are various challenges associated with that. Suppose if in case of Malawi, if I can say yes, Wilson is very rich person, he is able to afford it. He can pay $1.5 for 1 GB. But what about the other people who cannot afford to it, who cannot buy the data? So these are the problems. This is one of the example of what challenges I have discussed. And this was the case of Malawi. So similar cases maybe in Sri Lanka, maybe in some African countries, Ghana, maybe in Tunisia, maybe in Burkina Faso, maybe in Zimbabwe, etc. Sri Lanka. Okay. Ishaku wanted to say something.
No, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyone else? Any point so far we have discussed? Okay. Here I will take 5-minute break. Then I will come up with another topic. Is it okay with all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Let's have a 5-6 minutes break. Then we shall start another topic.
Okay, sir.